Okay, the lads, we are in. Dave Richards first in the chat. Afternoon, Dave. Afternoon, Bithorse. 93 acres. Let's go. Becoming a unique member. Same for you, Narit. Massively appreciate you guys. Yeah, becoming a member means a lot. That means you will be getting your lineups built in this stream. Hope you're all doing super, super well. I'm just catching up on the stream. Alex, what's going on, mate? Jordan, Mikey Baston, Bithole says, can't wait. You've already secured the £4 threshold, which paid for the month. More of this, please, dude. Mate, I'm actually buzzing with that. Is there a way for me to highlight that message? There probably isn't, is there? But Bithorse, I'm glad I could help. I mean, it might have been a bit of luck, whatever it was. I'm just glad that you've managed to secure the Threshy. Senzio, can you check mine maybe later? Siri, it's Caduce Day. It better bloody be Caduce Day, mate. It better be. Hope you're well, Siri. Mikey Flynn, what's that? Can you do some lineups for me this week? Mikey Flynn open to trades. Kian Oakley, what's going on, mate? Narita, bought a lot of players for Cup 240 without scouting much. Lost a lot of money there, so now I started selling those players to play into semi-pro divisions. I hope your channel helps me grow. Interesting. So you've kind of gone backwards in that sense. Mozza says, I thought it was Gavi. Mate, come on. Gavi's 20 times better looking than I am. I know I've got the little cheeky bars at the top. Big shout out to my best mate Harry for giving me that. But no, Mozza, I appreciate. I'm going to take that as a compliment. I've been told that I look like Gavi. I wish I could play like him. That would help. That would really, really help, lads. But yeah, appreciate all of you popping in. Some different names here as usual, than usual, which is great. We are going to be building some lineups of our members today. I won't be turning this into a members stream. This is gonna, it's going to be a public stream in that sense for the duration of the stream. But yeah, I'll only be building the lineups of members because they're my members. They pay for that privilege in that sense, and yeah, it's our second time sort of doing so. We did it we did it on Monday, and like Bithorse says, he's managed to secure his Threshy already. And yeah, we have a little Discord. I ask my members to throw in their top three lineups they want me to build for this upcoming game week. So I have a list of accounts and sort of lineups to get through. So, I will be doing that. And then if you haven't done that and you are a member, I will obviously, use the chat, to kind of interact with you and kind of get, the lineups that you want built. So that's kind of how we're going to do things today. Just catching up on the stream, on the chat again. I'd buy your unique if you played like him. Mozza, I'm telling you. What am I? I think I'm like probably 50. No, I don't know. That's maybe doing me a disservice. Maybe like 20 times worse than Gavi. I don't know. Maybe that's too high of a comparison. I don't know. But yeah, I couldn't lace Gavi's boots, to be fair. Kian, I switched from football to NBA and won a reward in my first week, but no reward in football in like 4 months. Interesting, Kian. Yeah, it's not easy to win rewards, mate. It really isn't. Really isn't easy to win rewards. So he says, why Barca jersey? It should be Real or West Ham. I know. I mean, where'd I have the Real jersey? Yeah, okay. So we have the Real jersey. Just trying to move out of the way. Real jersey's here. I know I should be wearing it, but obviously I'm not. And I am lacking. I am lacking a West Ham jersey. I would like a West Ham jersey. If Caduce wins me under 23 rare tonight, I will have to purchase a West Ham jersey. It's as simple as that, isn't it? So, yeah. It's Caduce time, like you said, Siri. And yeah, I will actually buy a West Ham jersey. I do like West Ham a lot, to be honest. I'll like them a lot more tonight if Caduce can do the business. Yeah, appreciate you all being here. Still took Haaland out thinking he would be rested. Bench press, everyone, honestly, it kind of only came out after the deadline, didn't it? That like he wasn't going to be rested, I feel like. Because when I did your lineups in that morning, it felt like he was going to, like he was still touch and go. So yeah, that was an unfortunate one. Gavi doesn't lace his own boots. Dini said that's actually quite funny. Yeah, I like that. I really like that one. Okay, we're going to get into some lineup building, lads, of our members. I'm just going into Discord. I know you can't see this, but I am looking at some of our members um, lineups they want done. So first member, I don't know if he's watching right now, but DieRich05. Hope you are in. If you're not in, then that's fine. But we are going to build some of your lineups for this upcoming weekend. We've got Cap 240 Rare, All-Star Limited, and Cap 240 Limited as your three sort of lineups that you want built. So we're going to do that first. Cap 240 Rare was first, right? I'm just having a little look. Yeah, Cap 240 Rare. So, yeah, I guess it's time to dive into these. Camangelo, you've said Caduce so many times he might get benched now. I know, I'm probably jinxing it myself. Let's not talk about Caduce until the lineups are out, lads, at 7 o'clock. When you order the Caduce jersey, add Gula jersey as well. When he does smash, show it to Fedo. I know. I need to rub it in Fedo's face when Gula finally smashes Mikey Basson. I've played against Jared Bowen's dad in my time and a couple of his cousins. Interesting, Mikey. A couple of my friends actually were in the same Cardiff Academy sort of, under 18s or whatever. I think Jared Bowen went on trial there for multiple times basically, and they rejected him every time. Jordan, if you can have a look at a lineup for Cap 240, that's all I need looking at this week, please. No worries, Jordan, that'll definitely be done. 100%. 93 Acres says, do you have a link to your Discord, Harry? Can't see it on the link tree. It should be 93 Acres, if you are a member, which I can see you are. It should be in the description or the instructions of the perk, if that makes sense. So one of the perks of the channel, becoming a member is, you get the Discord. There's definitely a link in there. So use that and that should take you to the Discord. Have less this week with League One break. Oh yeah, of course there is a League One break. Okay, we'll do DieRich first then. Cap 240 Rare. I will obviously try and look at the chat as much as I can, but I am concentrating on doing my best as far as these lineups go. Mikey said he went to Cardiff 4 times in total. Yeah. All my mates who were playing with him at the time, said he was a joke. They should have signed him, but I don't know what. That's just Cardiff for you. That's Cardiff Academy. That's a different story in itself. But, okay, so Cap 240 Rare. I mean, Blakowski seems like the only starting goalkeeper here, so he kind of picks himself at 46 points. Who have we got up front? We've got Willian. We've got big Isaac Davis. What a player. We've also got Muller. What is Muller's chances of starting this weekend then, lads? That's probably the next thing I want to... Oh, okay, so we haven't got buy-in lineups yet. That's fine. Let's go into... Because I think I know that Musiala's injured, isn't he? So playing a Muller at home could be the play this week, right? Because they obviously beat Galatasaray. Musiala got injured. Who came on for him? Okay, so Thomas Muller came on for him. Obviously, you've got Gnabry as well, but he's probably, Muller's probably more favoured for that 10 role. At 48 at home, I feel like that probably has to be the play, just for now. 93 Acres, glad you've managed to sort that out, mate. Appreciate it. Bithole says, can you do Cap 240 and All-Star, please? Both Rare and Limited. Previous message got deleted. No worries, Bithole, I'll get that done. You might have to remind me when I'm sort of going through this, but yeah, definitely get it done for you, mate. Muller came off the bench after 40. Dave said, yeah, okay. So, yeah, Muller probably starts this game, I'd have to imagine, if Musiala is injured. Okay, so midfielders, we got Graham Shinney away to Celtic. I really don't like that lineup, that matchup for him. Slattery, who had a stinker midweek. I only know that because I own his card. So I am a bit worried about that one. We've got Saul, who, does he play? Does he start for Atletico? Let's have a little look. Let's have a little look at this. So Saul isn't down. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. He is, 25% on. I don't love those odds. What is the odds of big Robin Kaub? Is it Korb? Kraub? However we're going to pronounce it. Good L5. Come off the bench on the last game. Okay, that's not great. Let's just have a look at Eintracht's predicted 11 if it is out, just because... we might have to be forced to go with Slattery, but... Okay, no, he's 80% on. Okay, interesting. I don't mind that, to be honest. The only thing I worry about Slattery is the guy who he came on for on the weekend got an assist, and they drew 2-2 and they were 2-0 down whilst he was on. So I have a weird feeling that he might get bench. Anton Donker's 55% on. Okay, interesting. Um, got Mepam Hermoso. What is Hermoso's? Like, the goal with Cap 240, lads, is always, you just need sure stars at the end of the day. You need that for every competition, mostly, but for Cap 240, if your goal is to, hit the threshold and, you're obviously going to want to, yeah, you want sure starters. Hermoso is pretty nailed. I know this guy's a AAA fixture or pick score, but he's 55% on to start, which I don't love. Siri says Musiala's out for 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, I can deal with that. I think that probably calls for Muller time, doesn't it? I'm going to go Hermoso there, and we've got 56 points now for an extra player, which could be Willian. I know it's away to Villa, right? But Willian does get good AA scores. He's always decisive, capable. Yeah, it's not a great matchup, but Villa playing midweek. I wouldn't be shocked if he turned up. We could obviously go with Slattery as well, who's at home playing Hearts. But I do worry a little bit for Slattery. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he got benched this weekend. And obviously, Willian's 90% on to play, lads. I think, Di, if you are watching, this would be my setup, and it would have to be a Muller captain. I know the pick score doesn't look, or lineup strength score doesn't look great, but that's basically because Muller's down at 52% bench. But that would definitely be the Cap 240 lineup for us. Weezelmon, what's going on, mate? Thank you for being here. Alfred as well, what's going on, mate? Thank you as well for being here. Yeah, we're just building some obviously members lineups. Alfred, obviously you can get your lineups built once I'm done with the list I have to sort of go through, which is fine. We've got Dice Cap 240 Red done. Now we need to go and dive into All-Star Limited, and then we've just got Cap 240 Limited to do. So, All-Star Limited, let's have a little gander what we got here. Serrano is at home to Villarreal 2. I know from experience the Villarreal 2 are absolutely dreadful. So, just on first glance, that feels like the play. He is played every game in the last 15 out of 5, which I love to see. You've got a Muric, though, which is interesting. They play, obviously, Israel. Interesting one, but I fancy Israel to do a bit of damage there, to be honest. And yeah, Serrano has a big L15, so we don't really want to use him, or a high L15, whatever you want to. Yeah, call it. I think that is the play there in goals, if we're talking about the best team that we can build. Okay, we've got triple A Greg Taylor at home to Aberdeen. We've got Fabian Schär away to Bournemouth. Joachim Anderson's an interesting one. Big L15, which we'll probably have to take advantage of here, I would say, because that's probably too high for us in Cap 240. Dave says, good look. Looks good to me. Love that, Dave. Just trying to be as risk adverse as possible, I know the Muller one's an interesting one, but I would have to say that would make most sense. I've got to go Joachim Anderson here. It's home to Everton. Yeah, just a monster scorer on his day, to be honest. And yeah, I just can't really not go with him. I like Aidan Morris at home to Atlanta. I don't mind that at all. Dre is a very good player, but away to Ghent, I don't love that fixture. Big John McGinn at home to Villa. Interesting. I'm just going to go into the advance and just see what we've got AA average-wise. So Pascal Gross, very decent AA. Aidan Morris, very high AA. We'll filter by the top. Obviously, Julian Desart comes up there. Has he played every game well, not every game, but has he played the last couple? I feel like, okay, so he's been involved in the last game. They'll play midweek. Will they play midweek? No, they won't. Okay, I don't mind Julian Desart there. Kakare is away from home. Where I can, lads, I like playing home fixtures. That's just kind of my, where I can help it. I feel like that's, where most players seem to kick on. From my experience, got Big Osmar there. Big Aidan Morris. I mean, Aidan Morris will have a great AA score. I do worry about his decisive capabilities. Desart's a bit more decisive capable. So that is something that's kind of tempting me. Let me just have a look at who we got up front first. Not that means anything to do with the midfielder, but okay, so we've got Junker away to Shonan, which is a good fixture. Morata, though, at home to Villarreal, who are leaking goals right now. Could be a decent player. Obviously, Son stands out like a sore thumb as well. Luis Diaz's dad has been released. Oh, that's massive news. Appreciate you sharing that with us, Al. Yeah, no, very, very happy to hear that he's all good, or well, hopefully he's all good, obviously being released. You got Dan James down there as well is an interesting one. Very interesting. What is Leeds play sharper situation looking like? They play Preston, which is a very good fixture for them. Dan James is 85. Yeah, lads. Dan James is my boy up here, honestly. I know he's not coming in as a double A, but I'm going Dan James. Take sets. I can't not go him, to be honest there. Um, Midfield is my only, not worry, but that's kind of where I'm in an R in, what to do. Aidan Morris stands out massively for me. In home fixtures, I feel like he can really push a big score out. I mean, even if he doesn't get a decisive, a 75 would do us nicely. I am leaning towards a Morris there, in all honesty. And then for our extra player, this is going to be quite interesting. Greg Taylor could be a play. Taylor could definitely be a play. Decent L15, so we don't really need to, we're not wasting it. Or Sonny, though. Do we fancy Sonny to kick on against Wolves? You probably would have to, wouldn't you? Like if we're going, I know it's away from home, but ooh, yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. Let me see Greg Taylor's form. Great matchup. Aberdeen a decent team though. Don't get it twisted. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in love with the Greg Taylor shout. For me, it has to be Son, double forward, lads. I think that is what I would do here. I would go double forward and I would captain either Joachim Anderson or Dan James. I'd probably go with Dan James. Obviously, Di is a massive Welsh fan, as am I. Because we're born there. But yeah, I think that could be the play. Double forward. I fancy Sonny for a decisive at least. Big AA from Morris. Anderson the same. Hopefully clean sheet. Clean sheet, obviously from Sorare against a very poor Villarreal team, and then Dan James to just go crazy. Basically, is kind of what I'm hoping for there. Got to back Son, surely. Yeah, that's kind of my thinking. You've got to back Sonny there, haven't you? And then Cap 240 Limited. Let's see what we can do here. So Big Ron has a good matchup because he plays Osnabrück, who I am familiar with because I do own a left back of theirs. Good XP as well, which helps, and his L15 is low. Has he played every game so far? Or, the last couple? Yeah, so his scores are dire, I can't lie. I don't know if I want to really get involved with that, to be honest. Liam Kelly could be a shout. What about big Lee Chang-Gwin here? His scores seem to be okay, but I do tend to stray away from the K-League where possible. So I think Liam Kelly at home to Hearts. I know Motherwell are struggling as well. We haven't got the best to kind of choose from here, but I don't know. They do seem to leak goals as well, don't they, to be honest? This is a tough one. I'm honestly tempted to go with Big Ron. Like, none of them are great, I'll be completely honest. So, don't expect clean sheets in any of these for your goalies. Just as long as they, don't go into like below 35 is kind of where I'm thinking for that. Right, let's have a look at what we can do here then. So, the picks, the pick scores aren't always the best to kind of look at here as far as Cap 240 for me because it's a triple A because obviously his L5 is better than his L15, but in relation to our actual build, it might not really make too much sense because it all depends on how much, how many points or whatever we call L15 points left to kind of use up. Let's just go by L15. So Drea obviously has a really good L15. Big John McGinn obviously on fire as well. Could Paderborn's Muslio, however we're going to pronounce it, he seems to pop off for Kosovo. That could be an interesting little one. Have to fancy him to start. He does have a high L15 though, which I'm not in love with by any means. Anyone down here? Desart has a big high L15. I tell you, could be interesting. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, L5 of 56. Yeah, maybe the Ox could be the play here. We're going to throw Ox in for now because we've, both our players so far under 50 L15s, which is always nice because it just leaves us a lot of room then to kick on elsewhere. Brennan Johnson's pretty low and we know he's nailed on, but I think we could afford to play somebody a little bit better than that as far as L15s go. Darwin Núñez, interesting. Maeda. I'm not in love with that. I mean, Guri, Murata. I mean, Murata's on fire, lads. I know his AA is not going to always be there, but he's on flames. Like I don't know how I can't really go Murata there, honestly. Um, what about Big Steven Berghuis? Two good scores, yeah. It could be double forward time. We could go Berghuis because he only has an L15 of 50, which is nice. We've got 101 points left, which means we could honestly go Greg Taylor. Obviously, if he gets us like 25 AA, I'd be more than happy with that. Is DeMarco down to start for Inter would be my next question because yeah, if he plays, they have a great matchup. That could be something quite lucrative there. DeMarco's 95% on. Yeah, lads, I'm inclined to go DeMarco here. L15 of 50 leaves us with 50 points left. Okay, what can we get for 50 points then, lads? What can we afford? We can go 51 gets us a Fuji away to Shonan. I kind of don't mind that. He's a great defender. Obviously, scores over the last two have been good. Before that, though, Grampus haven't been that good, honestly. But they play Shonan, who aren't great. We could go big Lawrence Shankland and hope he bags, which he very well could. Is Joe Rodon down to start for Leeds? If he is, that could also be another decent one. He's 90% on. Yeah, that could be interesting. What is his out? What's he actually scoring like though? Because okay, yeah, yeah, I think Joe Rodon does it for me, lads. I can't lie. I know I haven't looked much deeper, but I don't think I need to, lads. I'm quite happy with that. Um, can never complain when I get DeMarco into a priority lineup. Love that. Okay, so yeah, for me, this would be the play. Berghuis as captain, I would say, most decisive, capable. You could argue DeMarco's a decent captain as well, but I think Berghuis on his form. 93 Acres says Rodon definitely starts. Love to hear it. That would be Dave, my sort of three lineups for you. I fancy him, mate. I fancy 240 massively. All Star Limited has, if Dan James pops off, you got a wicked chance there. And then, yeah, Cap 240 Red definitely has a chance as well. Obviously, if Muller pops off, sorry lads, I'm looking at my phone as well just to see. I just want to see if Vert is starting. He is starting. Interesting. Okay, that's not great for me in my quest for under 23 tonight. Just looking at the Aberdeen lineup. Sorry, I'm just on a bit of a. Ooh, Duke has started and Barron. Very interesting there. And then I just wanted to see the Brighton lineup. Is Verbruggen in goals? He is. Big Bart's in goals. Very interesting. No worries, Dave. Dave says thank you. That's all good. Struick is injured, so it'll be Cooper and Rodon 100%. Love that, 93 Acres. Okay, next in line was Mozza. Mozza 19. And we've got limited under 23 gas, and we've got limited 270. So let's get into under 23, my favorite competition, obviously. What can we do here? So Mamadashvili, away to Real. I do not love that at all. But Trubin equally is at home to Sporting, which isn't a great fixture, but I think Trubin picks himself there, to be honest, as doesn't he? It's not really that much of a conundrum. I would say here Teze stands out for me. I don't mind Lukeba, but I think Teze is the obvious pick. Is Saka okay? Is Saka okay is probably the question I have. Duke starts, yeah. I'm interested in. I mean, it doesn't really mean too much for me in that sense, but yeah, I'm quite surprised he starts. Are you? I thought they would have gone with Miovski there. Okay, what was I going to do? I was going to look at Saka in his situation. Came off injured last night, apparently. He's 95% on, lads. Saka obviously walks in there then, doesn't he? That is not a worry at all. And then up front, who do we have to choose from? Mozza, this one's been pretty easy so far. I can't lie. We got Diaby at home to Fulham. Obviously, Rodrigo and Vinny. I mean, you'd have to play Vinny, really. And then the extra players where it gets a bit interesting because I'm not saying don't play Rodrigo, but there is a little bit of risk there, I would say. Whereas if you played like a Dominic, then I wouldn't be too worried about the risk that comes with him. Let's just have a look at Liverpool just in case. I know they play tonight, so there's things are going to change maybe, but I'd fancy him to start this weekend. Surely, yeah, he's 90% on. I'd probably go Big Dom. Weezermont came off with a little niggle Saturday night semi-final. Fair enough, that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, extra position. It's either Lukeba, who didn't score very well midweek, but has scored well in the league for the most part. It is a good matchup for Lukeba, so I am kind of inclined to go with him, but I do also think Szoboszlai has that. He's so much more 100 capable, as shown here. Obviously, in the last two games, he's managed to get 100 in a home fixture, which is interesting. And I will be at that Liverpool Brentford game this weekend, so I think picking Big Dom could could bring you some luck, hopefully, Mozza, because I'm lucky enough to say that I am going to that game. I'm taking my best friend, who's a massive Liverpool fan, to that game, so I'm buzzing for that. That would be my play. I'd probably captain Saka. It kind of is a no-brainer. 82 lineup strength score is massive. Great, all at home. I don't think that one was going to take me that long, just because under 23 is my bread and butter, lads. It's what I do, so or what I try and do. So that is going to be that. All-Star Limited. This is going to be fun because I can see some big players here. So Walter Benitez feels like the obvious play just at a glance, just because of the pick score helps me see that. Okay, so he's the Levante keeper, and then we've got Paul Nader. Yeah, so Benitez is the obvious one there for me. And then in defence, what are we going to do here then? So we've got Big Lewis Dunk. So we've got a couple of Brighton boys in there. Okay, I'm not in love with anything. Lukeba might get the call up here, just on first glance. Or Big Dunk. Does Dunk get a shot at this? I mean, Dunk scores very, very well. I know they play tonight, don't they? Is he playing tonight? Let me have a look at. I'm just gonna have a look at my phone. Sorry, it's just a lot easier. Okay, Dunk does play tonight. So does Van Heck. Interesting. Renge plays tonight as well for Ajax. Sorry, I was just digressing a little bit. So Dunk feels like a decent play. So does Lukeba. I'm not sort of disregarding that. Obviously they play Chef, don't they? I think Dunk would probably stand out there for me. It's an easier matchup, even though the Lukeba matchup is good. Veerman, I mean, obviously is a lock. This is not something that we have to really chew over. Up front, we've got Mantrip, who I don't love. This gets a little bit trickier. And Buemo away to Liverpool. I mean, you just don't really want to be testing that. It's either Diaby or Rodrigo, realistically. Diaby scores aren't great. I think Rodrigo has a better chance of scoring than Diaby, okay? Or scoring well, which is probably not a shock to anyone, but that's just what I would say. And then my next thing I would say is Diaby's more nailed than Rodrigo this weekend. Obviously, Rodrigo had man of the match yesterday. But, you look at, I think Play Sharper maybe has him down at like an 80 or something, or maybe less. I just wouldn't be surprised if he got a little, that's the problem. Everywhere seems to think that he's not fully nailed this weekend, which worries me. But then, I don't know. If you're going to want to place well in All-Star Limited, you're going to need a massive score. So what I'm getting at is, you'll play Diaby and he doesn't score very well. Or do you take the risk on Rodrigo? And if he does play, I think he smashes pretty heavily. That's kind of the interesting one. Mozza says, I'm considering going Luke de Jong to go with Veerman. So okay. So you might pull the trigger on de Jong. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, you are probably missing a top-ish forward here, I would say, Mozza. Just as far as what I've got to choose from here. I know we've used Vinny already. If you're playing it safe, you go Diaby. If you think Rodrigo gets the nod, and it's a good matchup, then I would throw Rodrigo in there. And then for the extra position, I'd probably go Big Sven. Big Sven, Desart. Big Sven or Desart, I would say, this kind of talking to me here. You could go Lukeba, but I think Big Sven could be the play there. Something like that. But obviously, like you said, if you play De Jong, then that changes things for me, and then obviously makes that lineup a lot better. And then we've got 270 for you, which will look something like, what can we do here then? So we've got Mamadashvili, Paul Nardi. I mean, Paul Nardi probably is the best play here. 49L15. Then we probably go Luke Haber. I think that one kind of picks himself just because the matchup is great. I know the AAA's there as well, so it kind of makes it a bit easier for us, but it does leave us with a decent amount of room to probably throw in someone like a Desart here. That's obviously quite punchy. I'd probably go Desart, and then up front, it leaves us with the same sort of forward options. Diaby probably gets the nod. I know it's going to leave us. Okay, it leaves us with 62. What can we do with 62? Could go in Buemo, but that doesn't really do much for us. I don't really think. I don't think we're going to get 62 out of Buemo away to Liverpool, in all honesty. Siri says, how many lineups do you have on your list? I'm not in your Discord. I was wondering if you could help me this weekend. I've only got 3 teams. I'll let you know. Well, not I'll let you know. If we've got time at the end of the stream, like after I've done all members, then I will try and get a couple of guys that are members lineups done, just as a little tester. I won't be doing that every week just because it is a members perk. Like I'm only it's a perk for a member in that sense. But I love you, Siri, and you've been around for a while, so I owe you a try before you buy type of deal, maybe. But yeah, no, I will have a look at your lineup, Siri, obviously if we've got time, which we should. Just having a look here then. What's for Theo Leone's at 70? That doesn't really make sense for us. Big Wout Feist, I mean, obviously Sugawara's a good play, but is he away to Feyenoord? I mean, I'm not in love with that at all. Like you see if they got battered by Villa. Yeah, I'm definitely not playing Sugawara. I can tell you that for free. Spurtian has a tough matchup. I'm not in love with that. You could argue Mitoma's a play. Is Mitoma down? Like, does Mitoma start? If he does, then I'd be quite inclined to go Mitoma. Obviously, great matchup. So, yeah, the lineups obviously aren't out. Is Mitoma playing tonight? That'll be my best way to work that out. Because if he doesn't start tonight, you'd have to fancy him to start on the weekend, wouldn't you? So let's hope he's not starting tonight. Let's have a little look at this. So he is starting tonight. Great. Has he started the last? Let's have a look at Mitoma. Has he started the last couple? Okay, so he basically starts every game. His scores have kind of dipped recently, which kind of worries me a little bit. But yeah, I know I didn't. Sorry, Siri, I'm just looking at your question again, and I didn't really tell you how many lineups I have. I think I have like almost 10 sets of lineups to do. So this is the second. Yeah, just because I didn't give you a number. I'm sorry for that, but there's the number for you. Yeah, Mitoma's an interesting one. I don't know what I'm thinking with this. It's a great matchup, obviously, but his form isn't talking to me, to be honest. And yeah, that is kind of a bit of a worry in a way. But, they've got a good chance of scoring a couple of goals. It's either him and Buemo or Big Wout Feist, who is away to Middlesbrough, which I honestly don't really love. I think Mitoma has to be the play here. I'm going to go Mitoma, lads. Or Waza. I think that is what I would do, and I'd probably captain Desart. Mitoma bangs against smaller teams. Yeah, I hope you're right. Mozza, those are your lineups, mate. I hope you're happy with them. Obviously, like you said, if you get a De Jong in, great. Maybe if you do get a De Jong in, I would probably put Rodrigo in cap 270 over Diaby. But yeah, that's kind of how that looks. Okay, so Alex, or WL Alex, or WLI Alex is probably the best way we should pronounce it. You are up next, my good friend. Champ Euro Limited as priority. So Champ Euro Limited is going to look something like this. Alisson at home, obviously. We've got Zinni, Tsimikas. Obviously, Big Verd gets the nod there. That isn't going to be something that we need to think too much about. Gross, Szoboszlai, or Mitoma. I think Szoboszlai for now. And then can we maybe change that later on? I think you might have to back Nunes here. Nunes or Diaz is kind of the thought. I know they play tonight, Liverpool, so this is kind of quite tricky, isn't it, to try and guess this? But what have we got down? Jota, Salah, Nunes. Okay, I'd probably say, I mean, Nunes has to be the play there for me. If you're playing the rest of the boys, I think you're better off just keeping them all together. And then as the extra player, this gets a bit interesting. Obviously, we could double down on Mitoma, and I could go double Mitoma from the last two, the two matchups. No worries, Mozzo, at all. No worries, man. I just saw your message then. Sorry, I didn't have the chat up. Yeah, so for this extra position, I mean, it's Mitoma, isn't it, really? Felipe Anderson has somewhat of a shout, maybe, to get in. Scored well on the midweek. I mean, Lazio are a decent team. You could argue maybe Felipe Anderson's a shout here. I wouldn't be against that, honestly. At home to Roma, but I mean, Brighton have a great fixture, so it is hard for me not to say this. And yeah, probably captain Big Verge, 75 lineup strength score isn't bad at all, Al. We'll definitely take that. All-Star Limited next for you. And then Cap 240 rare. Okay, so All-Star Limited, what we got going here? We got Diego Conde, I think, got a clean sheet last time out. Pandor's an interesting one. Did you say, well, we're doing Cap 240 after this, aren't we? Okay, yeah, Pandor's an interesting one. Kim Jong-hoon is an interesting, Kim Dong-hoon, sorry, is not a terrible situation either. Bailey Peacock-Farrell could be interesting as well. Not opposed to that. But I think it's either Bailey or Conde, but I'm inclined to go Conde just because of his L15 is a little bit higher, and we're not going to use that in Cap 240. Okay, so All-Star Limited. What is the best defender we have here? This Kim fella seems pretty good, but he's only played the last 60% of games. Yeah, we're not touching. Well, I guess he plays in the league, does he? And then, yeah, interesting. That could be an interesting play. It's a bit risky, I think, but I kind of don't mind it at the same time. Big Bass actually scored really well last game. Or we pair the boys together. Yeah, this could be the play. Amrabai, let's just have a look on Play Sharper just to make sure that Leganas is playing him. Okay, 60%. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not in love with that, I can't lie. Even the correlations there, I don't think we need to take that risk. The left back, on the other hand, is available. Hasn't scored incredibly well, but I would fancy him to do pretty well this weekend. If you want correlation, I think he could be the play. This Bass is a good scorer. He could definitely be in with a shout. Sorry, he has a great matchup. Yeah, maybe Bass is the Big Bass. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'm over the. Yeah, I'm going to do that then. I'm going to go that, and then Zion away to Chef Wednesday. Romans has been on fire, to be honest. Obviously, if we're keeping the go-ahead boys together, I think he kind of picks himself. Zion's a little bit too decisive dependent for me. Up front, still got Anderson. Bench press says, not sure where I am on the list, but hoping a couple incoming transfers go through. Yeah, no worries, bench press. We can obviously wait for that to happen so you can get your boys in. So I was just checking. Oh, interesting. Ike Alvarez is on the bench tonight for Villarreal. Very interesting. Delinga starts for Toulouse. So I was just looking at some of my lineups. Yeah, I was just checking. Cap 240 rare. Everyone played, but yeah, they just didn't play well enough. Bart obviously did get the start. Have a look how bad that is, by the way. Absolutely shocking. Okay, back to business. All-star forward. Danny Rabber's been kind of on fire, hasn't he? He's been okay. Yeah, he's been decent enough. Okay, so he's in with a shout. Braithwaite could be interesting. Away to Husaka. Or we go Felipe Anderson. Interesting. I think he scored last game, or did he score a couple last game? He won a pen, sorry. Yeah, his peaks aren't incredible. Like I'm not in love with that. Honestly, I think I think I would go Felipe Anderson here, to be honest, of what's left, if that makes sense. And then as our extra player, I mean, if Zion can't do it, I don't know. Zion scores are interesting. I'm not really too in love with them. He does seem to do well away though, which is pretty interesting. I mean, if we think this Kim fella starts, then he probably is the play. Let's have a look at Ichion's. Let's have a look at what we got going on here. If he's down to play, then I'd probably play this guy, Kim Jong-min. He's 60%. I just don't know if we can afford to have a 60% in our sort of main lineup. I don't love the sound of that. We could tell what we could do. I'm not in love with it, but something like that. Double defender, you know, defender and goalkeeper correlation. Captain Big Philip or Felipe. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not in love with that team, Al. I think it's probably the best out of a decent bunch. I like the defensive stack. Obviously, if Go Ahead can do the business away to Warwick, it's a good matchup. So, I'm not against it. I mean, yeah, it's a decent lineup. Like it's not bad at all. I'm not saying it's unbelievable, but it probably packs a little punch. Yeah, I'm not in love with it, but I'm not, totally against it, right? Cap 240 rare then to finish Alex's lineups off. Then we're going to move over to Alfred FC. Okay, in goals. Big Brad Guzan away to Columbus isn't fun, lads, is it? David Marshall probably gets the nod there. Is he down to start, Big David? I know he got injured he got injured at some point. I don't really know the full story, but sorry, I don't know what's going on here. Sorry, lads. Okay, no lineups available for Hibernian, which is ideal. But let's just assume he starts. I think didn't they play last night? Yeah, they did, didn't they? Okay, so they drew 2-2 with St. Mary. I just want to check the scores here. Okay, so that was a bit of a bad night at the office. Away from home, obviously. Fish did play. Okay. So we've got Fish. We've got Penrice at home to Rangers. Hard to decide, but just remember, if I don't win something, it's your fault. Okay, Al, that's fine. I'll take all the hits. Just as long as you praise me if they go well. Okay, interesting. I think the Will Fish sort of David Marshall defensive stack probably has to be played here, doesn't it? And then in midfield, we've got some decent options, it seems. We've got Andrew Shinnie. I assume he's Graham Shinnie's brother. We've got Kapue, who has been scoring pretty well. I will give that to him. Yeah, I'm not opposed to that, honestly. Kapue could be the player. I'm guessing he plays tonight, doesn't he? Well, he definitely does play tonight. I'm just going to check my phone to see how Villarreal are lined up. Okay, so Kapue isn't playing. Interesting. So that probably means he plays this weekend, right? Surely? You'll get all the praise. Cheers, Al. I appreciate that. Yeah, let's have a look at Villarreal. Okay, Kapue 75%. Okay. Jukic is at home to Salzburg. How does this guy pick up does he get a lot of tackles and stuff? If he does, that might actually be a decent play. Obviously not a great matchup, but great L14 to L5 ratio. Joe Newell, though, at home could also be a decent play, couldn't he? Go full Hibernian. Scored last night. Didn't play against Ross County. Yeah, Joe Newell's the play here, lads. Harry, what competition would you prioritise this week? As in for your lineup, Spit Horse, I assume you're referring to. If you are, just let me know. Just say yes. Yes, Jonathan, what's going on, mate? Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you joining and making it for the stream. Yuan could be the play here. I don't see there being anything else there. Is there a place in the queue? Yeah, we are. Well, if we're going off the Discord, we've done one, two, three. We're on our fourth set of lineups, basically, Jonathan. So yeah, if you want to throw your lineups into the Discord, just let me know what three lineups you want done. So you're like, yeah, two or three away, basically. Um, yeah, just checking. A couple of you guys have joined the Discord since I've just looked. So that's great. But yeah, Jonathan, just throw them into the Discord just so I have them down. But yeah, we're on Alfred FC so far. No, we're not. We're on W Alex. We're at the end of W Alex. Sorry, WL Alex. Okay, so for this extra position, sorry lads if I'm speaking too fast. Bit horse, yes, but in general. I'd have to look at your lineups first, bit horse. I'll definitely have a look at them and yeah, sort of take it from there. But it's different for every gallery. I prioritize under 20. Well, I prioritize Cap 40, super rare, and then I go into my under 23s, and then Cap 40 rare. But it all depends on what your cards are like, and you know it just all depends on that. To be honest, mate. So I'll definitely have a look at your cards in that sense and see what the best bet is for you. But for this extra position, we've got 50 points left, which is a decent amount to play with. Could go Kapue. Kapue feels decent. You could go Lewis Miller. I know he didn't play last night, but I still don't mind it. Kapue has a hard fixture, but so does everyone else. Honestly, I would be inclined to go this Jurek player. I know it will even 9 points, but that's not the end of the world. I'd probably do that, to be honest, Alex. That feels like a decent team. All at home. I fancy Jurek to get a load of sort of defensive duels. Yeah, they're probably going to lose to Salzburg, but I think they'll do well. And that would be the Cap 40 for you, mate. So, yeah, they're the lineups if you want to take a little screenshot. Yeah, that kind of ends or sort of ends, yeah, Alex's lineups. I hope they all get you the threshold, mate. I really do. All at home in Champ Europe, which I love. All at home in Cap 40, and we've got one away fixture with the Go Ahead boys. So yeah, I'm honestly rather in love with those lineup sides. I can't lie. Okay, Alfred FC. Let's go. Alfred FC. Let's get into really struggling with my priority this week. It's usually All Star Rare Plus, Champ Rare Plus, and All Star Rare. Injuries are killing me at the moment. So if you think I should be prioritizing differently, let me know. Okay, so yeah, so I guess the first thing I'm going to do is to have a look at what you want to prioritize, which is All Star Rare Plus. And the first thing I would say here is if you don't have two good super rares, realistically, you might as well drop down in that sense. Is basically what I would say. So Alex says looks good. Cheers, mate. No worries at all, Al. No problem at all. Okay, so first of all, I'm on the hunt for two good super rares, basically, mate. That's kind of how I'm looking at this. We've got Gabriel, we've got Pedro Porro. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not yet against that at all. Just gonna have a look at. I was at that game Monday, Chelsea Tottenham. Yeah, Chelsea Tottenham. And mate, Pedro Porro was unbelievable. Genuinely so good. I mean, I've known he's a good player, but just to see him live was really interesting. He's at 60%. What is all that about, by the way? 60%. There's no way Pedro Porro doesn't play for me. Ollie Skip's never playing right back. I can tell you that for free. So I'm going to say that Pedro Porro plays, unless he's injured, is he? Is that what they're saying? Very early team news. There will be a lot of changes and red cards. Unknown, blah, 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 blah. Van der Ven's going for a scan Friday. Yeah, I'm inclined to say that Pedro Porro seems like a good play for against Wolves, but so does Gabriel. If we're saying that Arsenal, play Burnley and sort of beat them, but has he been scoring that well? Maybe he has, and I haven't noticed. But that would be my first. Yeah, I'm not in love with the Gabriel shout. Honestly, I'd probably say Porro's. So you're looking at basically you've got Pedro Porro, and you've got Misic, right? They're your two best super rares. So if you think so, what we'll do is we'll build the All Star Rare Plus, and then we'll build an All Star Rare, and basically we'll compare. Is kind of what I'm going to get at, and see what stands out in that sense. So we don't have Dynamo lineups yet. I guess they play tonight, right? So that makes it a bit trickier. Um, but that's fine. But we'll kind of assume he plays this weekend, hopefully. Okay, so Dynamo Zagreb lineups are out. Misic is playing tonight. Gabriel has been terrible. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, this would be my starting point. The two super rares that has to go in for me, and then it's okay. Obviously, the three rares. Emiliano Martinez would probably be my play, kind of. But then, what's happening with Arsenal tonight is, I guess they haven't kicked off. Yeah, they don't kick off till later, do they? Or am I just being stupid? Arsenal played. Oh no, Arsenal played the other night, didn't they? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Raya or yeah, Misic gets really rotated. Okay, that's good news. Both away though, but both, relatively good fixtures. Riker actually are a decent team for Misic, so or against Misic. So I'm not in love with playing him. I already see a bit of a weakness in Misic, a little bit, just as far as the matchup goes. If we get a rare that has a better matchup, played last night, yeah. Sorry, I completely forgot there. They played Sevilla, didn't they? Okay, so if we say David Raya or Emiliano Martinez, I mean, the stats are showing to play out, the Arsenal goalkeeper, but I don't know. I'm not totally in love with that, to be honest. Let me just have a look at who we got up front before we get going into the goalkeeper. We can leave the goalkeeper to last. Obviously, you've got Big Hurricane up front. That is an obvious play, right? And then the extra player, got Dwight away to Newcastle. Big Declan probably picks himself. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze, I think. So let me just mute my mic. Okay, I'm back. Very, very, quick sneeze. In and out. Right, okay. I don't know why you need to know that, but I had to share it with you. Okay, Declan Rice as our extra player in goals. So you said, I'm just looking back, so you wanted All-Star Rare Plus, Champ Rare Plus, and All-Star Rare. Okay. Okay, interesting. And then in goals, let's just call it, do we call it Raya or do we call it Emiliano Martinez? Emiliano? Sorry, I was getting my words mixed up there. Emiliano Martinez or David Raya? Jesus, it's tough. It's really tough. It's really tough. Obviously, the clean sheet probabilities is telling me to go Arsenal. Was it not muted? Ah, my little red dot on my mic said it was muted, so maybe it didn't catch up properly. Sorry for that, lads. Or just enjoy the sneeze. I'm going to go Raya. I think that probably is the play. Captain Hurricane. So that is the All-Star Red Plus lineup, right? Now, if we get rid of that, Martinez, he thinks, nah, I don't know. I think Fulham are a little bit more dangerous than Burnley for me. Okay, so let's do the sort of All-Star Rare version, right? So it has to be Raya, Rice, Kane, and then you're looking at what? Tarkowski, Big H, Kilman. Like, are those rares better than Pedro Porro's super rare? Not really for me, mate, honestly. Could argue maybe Maguire is, because of the matchup, but it's not much in it for me there. So, right now, Pedro Porro is winning that battle for me. And then the extra player, the contemplation is, okay, well, what extra player is better than Misic super rare, right? Could argue, Gabriel Sara, away to Cardiff, though, it's not an easy matchup. I'm not seeing much more, to be honest, as far as, missing out on a big score. So, I'd honestly be inclined to go with the All-Star Rare Plus lineup, to be honest, mate, because those two super rares are just better than the rare alternatives in my eyes. And that's just the way I would, sort of calculate it. I think that has to be the play. So I would do that. And then, what did you say you wanted next? Champ Rare Plus. Yeah, I don't know if have we got the minerals to do Champ Rare Plus? I mean, Norwich are really bad away from home. 10 out of 10 season analysis. Rendell, what's going on, mate? What's going on, mate? Appreciate you being in here. Bench press thinks Emiliano Martinez. The only reason I'm maybe going to agree with you there to bench press is because, obviously, the Gabriel play. So, I don't think we're weakening this lineup by playing Emiliano Martinez, but we're really strengthening the other lineup that we're going to play, if that makes sense. So I would probably do that and then go into champ. Where's it to? Champ Europe Rare Plus. I don't know if we have the two supers to do this, do we? But I know we obviously have Raya, Gabrielle. Yeah, we don't really have another super, do we? Is probably the issue here, right? So I would say that this is probably not the best play. Like I wouldn't play Champ Rare Plus this weekend, honestly. Yeah, I'd just be worried about Ryan Arsenal goalkeepers in general. Fair enough. They did keep a clean sheet yesterday, though. That gives me a bit more confidence. But I do tend to agree with you there. Let's go into Champ Europe Rare and see if we can build anything there for you, mate. Because my thinking is Gabriel is close to getting a decisive soon. Nah, I can't think like that. Not as a defender. Like you can't go into a game thinking your defender's going to get a DA. Like you need your defenders to be just hitting 25 to 40 AA if you want to, if you want to shout at anything. Like I don't need my defender to go get a DA in that sense. Um, so yeah, that's kind of what I'd be getting at there. Um, okay, here I would say something like Big H Raya. Um, what's this Patrick fella saying? Not great. We've got Kova, who is predicted to be on the Judy. Matthias Janssen. See, like I'm just not in love with these players. Janssen, I mean, it's a way to live, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not in love with that either, to be honest. Um, so what about All Star Rare? Do we have anyone that can come into that that's different? Yeah, okay, we have a couple of different players. Okay, so this is what I would do. I would go All Star Rare plus like we have done, and I think the next priority has to be this for me. All Star Rare because you don't have enough midfielders really for me to really yeah be shouting off the rooftops for what you've got left. I would play Sarah. I know Norwich aren't great away from home, but he's always good for a decent score, and unfortunately we just don't really have too much else um to go with. Alfred said, yeah, could do All Star Rare then cap 240 Rare. Yeah, Alfred, I think that is probably your best bet, mate, for sure this weekend. Leave out the Gabriel Super. I don't think it's worth the play, in all honesty. How's Big James been scoring? Not bad. Not bad. Not great though. I'd probably have to go Big H, haven't we? I know it's United, but it probably is still the play. Okay, Dwight McNeil away to Palace is probably what we have to do here, isn't it? Decisives, sorry, haven't really been um, coming recently, but they're only scored one, scored none. Obviously scored three, and he got a decisive, even though it wasn't goal related. Scored one. So the issue with Everton is not so much can he get a decisive, is can they score goals? Is the worry there, right? And yeah, or you fancy Big Victor, who obviously is a bit of a baller. I wouldn't be surprised in the form the Benfica are in that they can see. So I would honestly go with Gyökeres here. Um, Yeah, it is hard to leave out a super rare when you own one. Alfred, honestly, like I've been there myself. Like you really want to play a card, but I think sometimes it's for the better. Like it's just for the better of the gallery or for the better of the week in that sense. Like you just kind of have to do it. Sometimes it's annoying, but you just got to do it. I can't lie. Um, honestly, actually, Livaja, however we're going to pronounce it, I think he's the sort of priority play there. We still might play Gyökeres double forward potentially because I'm not in love with any of the other midfielders. And his cap is so high, we can't really probably play him anywhere else. So that would probably be what I would do. I'm not in love with the Gyökeres play, but Benfica are struggling right now, so it would not surprise me at all if they concede a couple goals. And if anyone's going to score for Sporting, it's Big Victor, isn't it? So that would be my play there. Um, Livaja scored midweek, didn't he? Which was nice to see. I'd probably be inclined to captain him because if he does really run hot again, he can score pretty well. Um, like is Maguire better than picking Gabriel Super? Well, we're already playing All Star. Like we've already got an All Star Red Plus lineup, don't we? If that makes sense. Like we have All Star Red Plus already, so Like we couldn't. Do you get what I'm saying? Is Maguire better than picking Gabriel Silva? Or, do you get what I'm saying, Alfred? Like Alfred, we obviously can't play. The only place we could play Gabriel is here instead of Pedro Porro, and I don't think Gabriel really does it, to be honest. Um, but that's obviously just my opinion. But yeah, I know how you feel. Like you don't want to leave out Gabriel, but someone has to be left out. So it's either him or Porro at the end of the day, realistically, isn't it? Um, yeah, I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying as well, mate. But yeah, it's a tough decision, but I do think you might have to bite the bullet in a way and just and probably leave him out. Okay, Big Pickford in goals. I would say you'd probably want to pair that with Big James Tarkowski just for the correlation. Hopefully, that Everton can do a bit away from home. Is Edo Kayembe playing for Watford? Okay, so he is playing, but his scores aren't great. Siopis is probably the next best thing, isn't he, at 46? Obviously, Cardiff native. Um, Maguire's more of a wild card. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. I fancy Maguire to do well this weekend. Um, yeah, he could concede. He could score a goal or concede two pens. I agree with you, to be honest, but I still think he probably plays for me. Okay, so we could go double Everton up front, couldn't we? Or could we not? In that sense, like if we play here, we've only got 34 points left. Obviously, doesn't leave us with a lot. Kayembe's 35 points. That's very annoying. Okay, so we can't play Dwight unless we don't play Tarkowski. Is there something we could do here where we switch up our defense slightly? Is there anything we could go Max Kilman, but they play Tottenham. If you fancy well, you'll have to have a lot to do, to be fair, Big Max. Yeah, you know what? I would probably go Max Kilman here. Leaves us with a bit more room to spend on Dwight, and then it leaves us with 42 points left. Um, yeah, so we can't go Siopis. We could go KMB, but I'm not in love with it. I can't lie. I'm really not. Vitovsky. I mean, if we don't go Dwight, we could obviously go um, Dominic Calvert, which then leaves us with 55 points. Who can we afford here? That's so annoying. Tarkowski's 56. That is an absolute piss take. Vitovsky, mm, I'm not in love with it. Let's have a look one more at KMB scores. Is he down to start this weekend? And we could potentially put our trust in KMB. Um, and it obviously hopefully pay off. He's 70% on, okay. He could potentially be the player. I know the scores aren't really there at all, to be honest, but at 35, like so let's say we do this, right? Let's say we could go Patrick actually, can we? Could we fit him in somewhere? His scores are a little bit better, but not considerably. If we take the punt on KMB, right? Could we then go Dwight? Yeah, we could. And then I'd probably go Siopis. I'd probably do something like that, to be honest. 73 um, score isn't bad at all as well, by the way. That is what I would do, mate. Those would be my teams. I know the Maguire situation isn't like lovely. You could even go Tarkovsky. If you fancy Tarkovsky to score better than Maguire, then you could go Maguire. Tarkovsky there. I wouldn't sort of say that would be a crazy thing to do, but that would be my three teams. All in the 70s, 73, 73, 74 according to Sorare data, which isn't bad at all, to be honest. So yeah, that would kind of be my lineups for you, Alfred FC. Okay, next up we've got Chris L. Chris L 23. So we've got All Star and Cap 240 for him. Two lineups. Is that All Star rare? I'm guessing it's All Star. Let's have a look. Is it All Star? No, yeah, it's All Star. All Star Limited. Okay, let's get into it. So we've got Joe Hart feels like the play. Donnarumma away from home. Yeah, I'd probably edge with Hart to be honest. Yeah, Hart feels like the play here. Pair him with Big Scalesy, I think. Got to go the Celtic defensive stack. And then, yeah, what happens here then? Does Jude come back in? Probably. Felt like he was okay, didn't it, on the weekend? Midweek. His shoulder was hurting or whatever. But I feel like he's okay. So yeah, Jude's down to start. So, um, but yeah, I would say Jude, Xavi Simons. I mean, you have to play Jude here. There's just no alternative. Alfred said, "Cheers, Harry. Not expecting much this weekend." Mate, those lineups are decent. Honestly, like I wouldn't be surprised if I'd be shocked if you didn't get the cap 240. What's it called? The threshold. The other lineups all need a bit of work. If Pedro Porro pops off, I think you got a decent chance with Kane captain. Declan Rice churned you out of 35-40 AA. Clean sheet from who do we have in goals? Can't even think who we put in goals now. Obviously, it was Raya or Emiliano Martinez, wasn't it? So yeah, that would probably I don't think it's terrible at all, mate. Honestly, I think you got a decent chance there. Okay, I mean you have to go Mbappe, don't we? They play Reims away. I know Mbappe's been a bit weird recently, but you've always got to fancy him, haven't you? It's hard not to. And then as our extra player, I think I'd probably go Kim Min Jae, to be honest. Let's have a look at um, his chances of starting. I assume they're pretty high with De Ligt out injured. Okay, so they're not out, sorry. If we're assuming Kim Min Jae starts, I would say he's probably the play. And it probably has to be Captain Bellingham, doesn't it? That would be what my All-Star Limited lineup would look like, Chris, I think. And then for Cap 240, this might be tough fitting in all these Wonder Kids into one lineup, but I definitely think we can get a team going here. So in goal, we'd probably say it's probably Blauschwitz, isn't it? Probably has to be. Do we have any bargains here as far as L15s go? Anything that stands out to us? Robin Koch's been decent. Interesting. Let's have a look at this. 55 L50 isn't great, but his scores are actually pretty good. Quite impressed with that. Um, okay. What else have we got? Obviously, Greg Taylor at 55, Will Fish. Greg Taylor, yeah, I'd probably say Greg Taylor for now. I know we probably need somebody to bring this down a little bit, don't we? L15 wise. So whether that's our midfielder or is that somebody else, hopefully can help us with that. But right now, yeah, we're on the more expensive end of things. If we think this guy starts for Celtic, what is the situation here? Is it Osei Hun or something? Osei Hun. So you got Palmer. Okay, so he's not down to start, which is not great. Um, yeah, I'm just worried about our extra player, basically, lads. Like as far as the cheap player goes, or the cheaper player. Popovic, Yankuto, decent, but I'm not massively in love with it. We probably have to scrap the Greg Taylor shout, honestly, and maybe go for someone a bit cheaper, maybe a Will Fish at home. Yeah, let's go Will Fish at home. Leaves us with a little bit more breathing room now. Not much, but enough to where, we could probably kick on a little bit from here. Dirk Proper, again, I'm not in love with it. Doucouré could score pretty well, actually. So could them. Who have we got up front first? Like, is it somebody that's stupidly expensive? Because we can't really afford to have somebody crazy expensive. Yeah, I don't mind that. Or Maeda. Maeda probably is the shout, isn't he, at 49? Gives us 92 to deal with. Bench press said, I'm in for Sanket from Bilbao and Paqueta. Nice. Love that. Great two players. Yeah, we need somebody relatively cheap here, lads. Dirk Proper, what would that leave us? 44. Yeah, this is going to be tough. This is not going to be easy here, just with the L15s. Do we take a bit of a hit on our goalkeeper potentially? I mean, there's not much room to play with. We could argue Sam Johnston isn't is 2 points lower. We could do that and then go gives us a little bit more to play with, but not enough to where I think this like changes anything for us, does it? Yeah, this is going to be tough, lads. This is actually going to be really tough. Just fitting in players, like we don't have enough players are basically too good. Is basically what I'm getting at. Could Popovich score well, or is he just dead? Hmm. I don't love it in that derby. We could go Yankuto. Let's see if this changes things for us. Then we'll go Yankuto. We've got 100 points to play with now. That kind of helps us a little bit. Does Conrad Lima start? Oh, we don't even know, do we? Did Lima start in that last game? Let's have a little look. He's down to start. I guess, yeah, Kimmich is injured, suspended, isn't he? So, um, yeah, he's not a defender, is he? You're right, bench press. He kind of is just flying everywhere. But just because of the L15 situation here, we're kind of quite restricted um, as far as what we can afford. Sanket could be interesting. Yeah, that's a good shout. I don't mind Sanket. Maybe we could do that actually, couldn't we? Yeah. You know what? We'll go Sanket here. We could potentially not have to go. This leaves us with 50 points. Bit hoarse with the Nicholas emoji. Love it, love it, love it. We've got 50 points left, lads. It'd be nice to play Lima, but we are 1 point off to Kure. Hmm. I don't mind this shout if he plays. Is he predicted to start? Sociedad. Sociedad are on fire right now. Yeah, he's 60% on. I don't want to really risk that if I'm being honest. Is Ralston starting? Is that a thing? If Ralston's starting, then I'd probably go with him, but let's have a little butchers to see what that situation's looking like. Celtic. Okay, no, Alistair Johnson's down. So we're not going to be playing him. Okay, maybe that then makes us have to go back to the original Kuto. And then we've got, okay, yeah, this makes more sense. Yeah, let's do this. We can afford big Xavi Simons now. Let's get Xavi in there. Boom. Let's do that. There we go. Chris L, those are your lineups, mister. Um, yeah, hope they help. And yeah, those are the two lineups you wanted me to do. So those are done. 93 acres. Brand new to the members section of the channel. I really appreciate it, mate. Honestly, becoming a member means a lot to me. And we've got Cap 240 and All-Star Rare, please, Harry. Thanks a mil. No worries at all, mate. Where are you from, 93 acres? Just the way you said thanks a mil then. No. Are you a Welshie? Be interested to know. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to disclose where you're from, but yeah, no, I appreciate you obviously becoming a member. And yeah, let's get this Cap 240 show on the road. Okay, so big Gavin Bazanu. Unless you think under 23 rare's worth a gamble. Okay. So he's from Ireland. Love that. So are we saying cousin? Sure, 100%. Well, yeah, my second name's Irish as well, to be fair. So I do come from yeah, I think my father's sort of grandfather's side, yeah, comes from Ireland. Okay. So you said if you think under 23 is worth a gamble. So is it Cap 240 and under 23 or Cap 240 and All-Star Rare? Are those the contemplations? Like, is Cap 240 always going to happen? Is basically what I'm asking you, mate. What is this Wolfsburg situation, by the way? That feels That feels not ideal. Let's have a look. Away to Gladbach. Okay, Castiles is 90% on to start. So, okay, but a high L15 isn't fun. We've obviously got Bazanu. Yeah, let me know what. Oh, let me have a look at the under 23 red team first, what you could build there. Yeah, I usually go conservative and go for 240. Okay, so it'd be Bazunu, it'd be Big Willie, wouldn't it? I think. Big Willie. Um, Kakare Kudus, Sanket Moran. Okay. Some decent players here, to be fair, mate. Um, and Somerville, yeah, wow. Unless under 23 has a very good lineup, put Bazunu in there. He's quality for 240. Yeah, he is good for 240, to be fair, right now, isn't he? Mate, to be fair, though, this is actually a tasty under 23 team. Um, for the extra player, I would probably go with. Probably have to be Kakare, to be honest. I would captain Somerville. That is actually a really decent under 23 lineup, mate. Like, genuinely now. Um, so I'll keep that there for now. I know we said play Bazunu in Cap 240, but obviously that isn't possible if we play Bazunu in under 23. So let's see what this would look like. So let's go Castiles in goals. Big Andy Moran is definitely getting a start here for me with the sort of size of his L15. I don't really need to even look at that, to be honest, and see that that is good value. Um, okay, we've got an Andorra player, which I am a bit of a fan of Andorra, but his scores seem to be a bit dire, but decent at home, which is a bit interesting. So away from home, he's just not a play, but at home he is a play, and they are at home. Let me just go a bit further in and just see what else we've got going on. Loriente, we've got Ferguson, Greenwood, okay. Okay. I mean, Ferguson, if we fancy him to start, probably plays here, doesn't he? And then for the sort of defensive positions, are we saying Sam Byram? Is Byram down to play for Leeds? It all depends what you want, doesn't it, every week? Like if your goal is to win the threshold every week, is that like that is the number one goal, then obviously, I would have built that first. But I don't know, mate. That under 23 rare team is actually quite tasty. Like really tasty. I know it's tough to win rewards there, don't get me wrong. Like it's not easy to win a card that's worth, a 50. Um, Sam Byram's, yeah, down to start. So I'd probably go Byram there. And then we've got 56 points then for our next player, which could be Roca. Where's Declan Rice is 64. That's a bit annoying. Stewart got injured, surgery. Oh, that's minging. Probably, I mean, Roca's been pretty decent. You could argue this is a great matchup for Loriente, who hasn't been good at all recently, but it is a very good matchup. So like, and Sassuolo, look, scored one, scored one, scored none, scored one, scored none. The chances are he's not going to score many decisive in that, is it? I'm a Leeds fan, hence all the LUFC players. Love that, mate. You need to get yourself a Dan James, mate. What are you doing? Shocking, shocking stuff. Yeah, just trying to work out midfielder wise here what the issue is. Obviously, I'd love to get Rice in there. To be honest, is there a way we can get Rice in here? Could we lower? Could we get a defender in? Because I know Rice is obviously a captain play here. What is this guy saying at home? Is that the one we saw earlier? No. Okay. Interesting. If Osasuna can kind of not concede too many goals, like obviously I want to play Sam Byram, but I think Declan Rice brings a lot more to the table as far as scoring is going to go if we're going to captain him than maybe a Sam Byram and whoever we're going to play as the extra player does. So that is kind of my thinking there. And just looking down here, who else could we sort of fit in? This Alex guy, I mean, if you fancy Andorra to do well like they kind of do at home, I would say that could be the play. And captain Big Deckers. I think that probably becomes the play. Let me just check if Andorra or if that guy is nailed for Andorra. If he is, then I'd be confident. Okay, he's 70. I think it's worth the risk. If you don't fancy taking the risk on that, then I would probably go that other guy, the other defender, wherever he is. Where's he to? Where's he to? So you got Arezzo, and then you've got yeah. Either go Arezzo or Pexaroma or whatever his name is. Those would be my choices because you're heavy then on all the home fixtures here. Yeah, you should start can produce good scores on the occasion. Yeah, I would probably go that. I think Rice takes you to like 100 with captain's bonus. Moran's, I think he's going to have another decisive this weekend. To be fair, great XP as well on him and Ferguson. All the XP is decent there, mate. Honestly, those would be my builds for you. Um, did you ask for another lineup? I can't remember. No, All Star Rare. Yeah, so like obviously, if you want to build an All Star Rare, you can. I guess you've got. I'm not saying it's going to do much, but it's there. If you want to go depth, that's the thing. We've started off like there's no point in me even building it if I'm being honest, mate. Just because like it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, of course, King Moran for days, legends. No worries, man. I think there's some good lineups there. Honestly, under 23 Ray is really interesting. Somerville could smash, takes you off to a massive start, and then 240's got a really good chance as well. Obviously, Ferguson doesn't necessarily need to start either. Obviously, to score for Brighton, I don't think, even though it's obviously beneficial. I do think that you could get away with him, not starting and still doing really well. But yeah, obviously Rice as captain should take that lineup over the threshold. So yeah, massive good luck for you, mate. If you're obviously going with that lineup, if you're not, then I understand. Okay, Bithorse. Let's have a look at what we got going on. Jonathan, you are then after Bithorse, just to let you know as far as where you are in the queue. But yeah, we're making good progress, lads. Okay, so what did Bithorse say? He said All-Star Rare, Captain 40 Rare, and then Champ Europe Limited and Captain 40 if possible. Okay, so All-Star Rare first. Let's see if we can make a decent All-Star Rare lineup that could do a little bit for us. So Oliver Baumann away to Augsburg. Okay, I'm not in love with it, but it's not terrible. He probably has to fit in there, doesn't he? Like so. In defence, David Raum stands out like a sore thumb with the scores he can produce. Griffo away to Leipzig isn't amazing. I'd go Limar here. Up front, I would go Goodmanson at home to Hellas Verona. That feels like the play just off first glance. And then this is actually pretty easy to do this one, honestly. The Griffo one's interesting. How does he score away from home? Yeah, you can still pop away from home. If you fancy Leipzig to concede, which honestly they are capable of doing. Like I know the 9% 3 goals scored isn't great to look at. If you fancy someone with a bit more AA on average, you probably go Olsen, but he's not really producing those decisives which you need in All-Star Rare. Like it's as simple as that. Dalot's interesting, but I'm not like married to that idea at all. Like if I'm being honest, mate, like this team's like an extra player away from being decent. Like if we're being honest, the goalkeeper choices aren't there. Like you're up against players, going to have like crazy clean sheet percentages, which I'm not saying it's the be all or end all, but it's definitely, a big factor in finishing high in All-Star Rare. I like Raum. I think Raum and Conrad Lima could score well. So could Gudmundsson. You've got 3 good players there. But I would say the Baumann and then whoever the extra player is, whether that's Griffo, Olsen, Dallo, Kramaric. I'm not saying they're definitely going to let you down, but I just, you're just up against a lot of quality in All-Star Rare, mate. So this comes back to, the point that you mentioned earlier, like, where should you prioritize? I think, honestly, I would go in with Cap 240 first, genuinely. I think Cap 240 for you would be the best bet as far as, what you've got available this weekend. I would still go with Baumann in goals. Tough with keepers, Bithorse says, yeah, man, it is. I'm not saying, it's easy just to go out and buy another one. It's really not. But yeah, that's just me being honest with you and just not, I don't want you to go into that All-Star Rare lineup thinking, yeah, I've got a wicked chance this weekend because, you're probably a player and a half away from it, really popping off. Where I'd prefer you to like smash the threshold and potentially get a card in Cap 240. I know that the cards in there aren't like, amazing, but I still think this could be, I still think it could be quite lucrative for you. So Goodmanson has a great, no, he doesn't. Sorry, I was just going to say he has a great bonus, but it's not that good. We've got 83 points left. What can we do here? Kevin Schlotterbeck plays for Bochum. His scores are random. Um, Absolutely much appreciated. No, no worries, bit horse. I'm just yeah, trying to give you the best chance of trying to kick on, in that sense. Okay, yeah, I'm not in love with any of these. Who can we play? Is there anyone in midfield or up front that has a low cap that could be a play? Mohamedou Silla could be an interesting one. The issue is Valladolid aren't great away from home, is my worry. He did score in this game, mind. Did score away here as well. So if I'm not seeing anyone else, I mean, Gilberto, Cesar Gelabert, Adam Busca away from home as well. If we go Silla, what does that leave us with? 42. Obviously, it leaves us with Schlotterbeck, right? That's kind of all we can afford. Let's get rid of Goodmanson and go Silla. Where's he to? We'll go Silla, right? So that gives us a bit more breathing room now. So we've got 100 points left. We could go Miley. We could go Dallo. We could go Dallo, and then we've got 47 left. Does that get us anything? We could go Busca, double forward. It's not ideal. It's definitely not ideal, honestly, and maybe it's actually far from ideal. I'm kind of going back on that statement already, actually. Yeah, that might be quite tough. Okay, let's scrap Dallo for now. Who have we got? Sorry, who else have we got that we could fit in here? Schlotterbeck he's kind of calling my name just because they have a good matchup and he's at home. We might have to play him. Big Kev. Who did he play for again? Bochum. Why aren't Bochum? Oh yeah, there they are. They haven't got lineups out. Okay. Well, he's played the last couple. Like, if I'm not doing that, then if we do that, sorry, it leaves us with 62 points, which is a nice position to be in. Like in Cap 240, I always say that like you kind of need a smasher in here to go with the rest of the boys. For me, that smasher would probably be Raum, and it's probably a captain as well. Three at home, two away. Obviously, goalkeeper being one of the aways. For me, that's probably your best Cap 240 rare lineup that's probably buildable. And then All-Star rare. I mean, yeah, these are just they're not throwaways, but just don't expect a great deal, like, from this lineup. But it's better than nothing, isn't it? We'll go Dallo, Berisha. We'll throw Griffo in there because why not? He could definitely score. I mean, it's a decent lineup, mate. I'm not like saying this is not going to do anything at all. But it's just not easy. But it'll definitely have a bit of it's not dead and buried. Goalie is an issue, but like you said, what can we do about that? And then was it Champ Europe Limited? We can go, yeah, Champ Europe Limited. Okay, we got some decent here. So obviously, Raya in goals. Sorry, I'm just checking my phone. Ansu Fati goal for Brighton. Ooh, James Milner off injured after 8 minutes. Simon Adringa assist. Just checking up with a couple of these scores. Aberdeen are winning, and it was Duke with the goal. Jesus, I did not expect that. Go on, Duke. Go on, Big Duke. Duke's back, by the way. May I just add? Um, yeah, go on the Duke. Buzzing for you, mate. Love that. Rennes 1-0 up, just to give you some context. Okay, sorry. Let's go back to this. So, Saliba, Raya, Bakayo, Gabriel Martinelli, and it has to be. Ooh, this is interesting. It probably has to be Granit Xhaka. I'd go Granit. Go on, Duke, with the goal. I'm buzzing for Duke. Go on, mate. Fair play. Okay, yeah, that would probably be my team. It's definitely a captain. Saka, 80 lineup strength score is very, very nice. And then I have Aberdeen keeper last time conceded two late on. Yeah, that could definitely happen. Okay, so Sinan Bolat in goals seems like the only play there. Um, we've got Gabriel. Nothing crazy there. This Fraser seems like a bit of a play, right? Away to Aberdeen. Aberdeen doing well recently. Yeah, they're not doing too bad, are they? Yeah, okay, I like this play. So we're going to go Marcus Fraser. Nice low cap, which helps us. We've got a bit to play with here. Who could we play here? Are we saying, what's it called, starts? Jorginho? If we're saying Jorginho starts, and I would say, yeah, he's at 70. It's either Jorginho or this fella, but I guess you could say Zinchenko. Yeah. Zinni might be a play, actually, but he's a midfielder card, isn't he? So I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually that in love with that. Jorginho's really low cap. Do we have any massive strikers to play in that sense? Okay, so this is a bit of an issue, right? Because Nketiah is injured. Okay, we'll have to go Trossard. Trossard up front. 103 points left. We might as well go Zinni, honestly. We have the points. We might as well use them. And then 51 points gets us. Yeah, it might have to be Jorginho, to be honest. Obviously, we don't have enough of Ben White. I would probably do that. It's a decent, like I said, decent team. It's not incredible, but could definitely do a bit of damage. Probably captain Zinni. Hopefully get a cheeky assist or something, and that would be, well, those would be my four lineups for you, mates. So yeah, I hope they help. And then we've got Jonathan. So we got Sorare Israel. We've got under 23, Champi U, and if you help me decide between playing Serie A Specialist or Sommer in Champi U. Okay, let's do that. As long as it hits 280, we're good. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say it has like an unbelievable chance, but I definitely think, as long as Jorginho kind of does better than his L15, I think we've got a decent chance there. Okay, so you wanted under 23 first, like you said. Gloch is nailed, which helps. Okay, Slonina at home to, yeah, Molenbeek could be the play. Honestly, I know they're not great, but I think that might have to be the play. Obviously, you want big Gluch to start here, so we're going to throw him in because why not? Duke scores, Miguel says. Yeah, that is right. Big Duke scores. Um, I know Alfonso ain't been at the races recently, but is it time to trust in Alfonso this weekend? Does he just blow us out the water and get 100? He very well could. Nathan Harriel is also a decent chance of scoring pretty well in playoffs at home as well. Yeah, maybe I'd go Harriel. Hey Siri, hey Harry, sorry, I said hey Siri. That's me using my iPhone too much. Miscounted how many lineups left on your list. If you can mention, would be lovely. Yeah, Siri, this is the last members lineup I think I have to do. If anyone's in the chat and you are a member and you haven't had your lineups taken care of yet, let me know. And yeah, just put in the chat that that you are waiting to have yours looked at as well. But then if there is no one, Siri, then I'll have a quick little scan over yours for you, mate. Jonathan says, I think Guth. Nah, mate, you can't trust Guth. I'm a Guth owner right now, but I know it's a good matchup. But just look at those scores, mate. I'm sorry, but you just can't trust that. It's as simple as that. I'm sorry, not possible. I think Harriel is the play for me, and then up front, we're saying, is Davidashvili in the Israel squad? Oh no, he's not even Israeli, is he? He's Kosovo. Not Kosovo. He's from Georgia. Sorry, I got that completely wrong. We've got Kulu, Brennan. Ooh, okay. Mate, I really fancy Brennan this weekend. Genuinely now. He's nailed. I really think he takes his chance. To be honest, I really do. No, sorry, Jordan. Yeah, I haven't got to yours, mate. We'll do Jordan's actually after Jonathan. I'll have to scroll back up, Jordan, just to have a look at your request as far as what lineups you need doing. But yeah, Jordan, yeah, you'll be next. Don't worry, in the next sort of 10 minutes after I've done Jonathan's, and then we'll finish on your series. Yeah, Jordan, don't worry. You'll be sorted, and it was just Captain 40 for you, Jordan. No worries, no worries at all, mate. That'll be sorted shortly. Ooh, Nicholas Madsen. I think Madsen's the play there. I really think Madsen's the play this weekend. Brennan has a nice cap though. Yeah, that's a good shout, but I mean, Kulu's the only other one personally that I would play here. I wouldn't really trust anyone else. That would probably. Let's just have one more look as far as this goes. Batarina away from home. Enzo, I'm not loving that. Honestly, I think Madsen's the play. I think that would be my play, and I'd probably captain Gloch just because he's your boy. That would be like it's not an unbelievable under 23 lineup. I've got to be honest. Like the Kulu, I think lets it down personally, but I think he's the best of an okay bunch as far as your forwards go. And like you said, Brennan has a good cap, so excuse me. I think yeah, you're better off playing him in a cap mode somewhere. Champ Europe Limited. We're gonna go. What about Turnbull? Nah, I'm not. I'm not in love with Turnbull, to be honest, mate. In and out of the Celtic side, like, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. It's a toss-up between Turnbull or Madsen for me. They're both on, well, I don't know if Turnbull's on pens anymore because he missed, didn't he? Madsen is on pens. Aberdeen are no mugs. Like, they're no mugs at all. Um, so yeah, that would be my 2 pence on that. Okay, in goals. So you said you want to play a Serie A specialist or play Sommer in Champions U. I mean, yeah, I think well, let's just put Sommer in here first because that's the obvious play, and then okay, so we've got some nice options here. Does Cancelo start for Barcelona? Would be my yeah, he's 75%. Okay. You got some good defensive options. Obviously, Van Dijk stands out. So does Cancelo. Potentially go double defender there. You've got Goodmanson, Paqueta. Interesting. Okay, I'd be leaning towards going Goodmanson just on his form. Yeah, I'd probably say Goodmanson probably gets a nod in midfield for me. Up front, it has to be Kingsley, right? That's the obvious choice. And then in defence, I'd be I'd be inclined to go Cancelo Van Dijk. Um, Something like that is probably what I would do. Paquette is a decent choice. Just having a look down this list. Nothing else really shouts out to me. Yeah, Paqueta. I would say that's probably the play. Or like Captain Kingsley is probably what I would do. That would be my choice. Yeah, I wouldn't play Serie A specialist. This is a really good lineup. All at home, Jonathan. Honestly, this has a decent chance. Genuinely, has a decent chance. Is there any other lineup you wanted me to do, Jonathan? Just because if we're using Sommer here, I guess that means obviously we're not using Serie A specialist, or not playing him in Serie A specialist. Sorry. Yeah, just let me know. Just let me know, and then obviously we can get over to Jordan's lineups. But yeah, I think the Champ Europe is a really good lineup. The under 23 is iffy. You know, it's not amazing, it's not incredible, but has a chance. You know, it's always got a chance. No worries at all, Jonathan. That's all good. Okay, let's get to Jordan's. Or Jordan. Jordan, did you give me your name, if that makes sense? Um, like I know you said you're with your daughter, but did you let us know what your actual username is? Just because. Oh, here we go. I've got it now. Yeah, I've got it, Jordan. No worries at all, mate. You don't need to give it to me. I've found it. Perfect. Okay, Jordan wants. What does Jordan want? Jonathan said they're the only two didn't know what to do. Okay, fair play. I appreciate that, Jonathan. Love the emojis as well. Okay, I was just checking. Um, I need to go back up a little bit more just so we have. It was just cap 240, you said, wasn't it? Jord? Pretty sure Jordan said he only wanted cap 240 done. Yeah, it was just cap 240. Okay, let's get this cap 240 done then for Jordan. Okay, so we don't have a goalkeeper. No? Oh, is that cap 240? It must be cap 240 limited. Sorry. Okay, in goals, we've got Zoki, Ron Robert Zyler. They play away to the top of the league. What is Hansa Rostock, who I know aren't a great team, but this guy seems to score okay considering they lose quite often. So, and the cap is pretty low, so I would be quite inclined to do that. I mean, the Liam Kelly play is interesting. Bless me. Sorry, lads, if you heard that again. I did turn my mic off, but I'm not sure if it actually works. So sorry if it didn't. Um, yeah, just looking at some of these. Oh wow, Enzo, Leopold. Wow, his scores have been incredible. Well, we're probably going to have to play him with an L 15 or 56, right? That probably has to happen. We'll throw him in there and see what we can build around that, and then we've got Alvaro Jimenez and Nick Prelec. Okay, how's he been scoring? Got an assist in his last game. Okay, not prolific by any means, but a very low cap, which could help us. And what about Big Nick? Let's have a look at what he could bring to the table. Okay, so not much at all there in a very poor team. Okay, so I would be inclined. Well, actually, could have a look at this guy. Yeah, he's probably your man, isn't he? As far as, but can we fit him in is my worry. Do we have a very cheap defender we could potentially play? We've got Rudy Camacho, okay, with a big um, bonus percentage. That might help a lot. Um, okay, let's throw Rudy in for now. This might not work, as best as we want it to, but let's throw Liam Kelly in. It leaves us with 46 points to get our next or last player. We've got Bright Arian Bay. Okay. What about this guy? Ozchek's centre midfielder. Do they have a good matchup? Who are they playing? They play away to Lokomotiva. It's not an unbelievable matchup, is it, by any means? But it could be decent enough to get us the thrashing. What is this guy saying? Okay, scores are pretty good. Yeah, I would be inclined. It's a tough game, but I think he probably just edges it on his AA potential. And he has a wicked multiplier. I would say that's probably the play. I would captain your striker at 72 lineup strength, and that would be my lineup for you, mate, to be honest. I think that is probably, yeah, big percentages on some of these plays as well, which help. I'm not in love with the Camacho play, but I'm not like totally against it at all. There's not much else we can really do, I don't think, to where it makes a ton more sense. Yeah, that would definitely be what I would do for you, Jord, mate. So yeah, no worries at all for getting that done. And then I'm gonna end on Series just because he is an absolute G. We're gonna do his under 23 rare lineup for him. Okay, so in goals, Fofana has been absolutely insane recently. It's very hard not to want to pick him. Um, Perfect mate, not the best week for matchups. Yeah, not a great mate to be honest, but I think you should. I'd be shocked if you didn't scrape the threshold there. To be honest, um, we're gonna go Yai Fofana in goals. Um, I don't know if Josko's the play. I think Saliba. I'd probably go Lukeba. I would probably say, ooh, this is interesting. Ferdy, Zorgan, or Batarina. I'm inclined to say Zorgane just because I don't. I mean, I have a Gates and Cook, so I know Mechelen very well, and they're not a great team. Um, right, Amin Guri surely scores against his ex club this weekend. By the way, that is, if anyone bets, I don't make bets or anything, but like traditional bets. But Amin Guri to score against his ex club Lyon, surely that is a decent bet this weekend. Is he down to start? 60%. Okay. What's Doku? I mean, Doku plays against Chelsea, doesn't he? But that doesn't mean to say anything. I think that could still be, or is a very good. I think any matchup Man City playing is a good matchup, isn't it? But is he 65? Yeah, I don't love that, man. Alvarez is nailed, apparently, which is interesting. If you trust that, then I would. Honestly, I would still probably go with Guri. I really would. With the way the Leon are playing right now, I'm not really I'm not too fussed about them. And then for the extra position, I'd honestly say Ferdy. Like Saliba has a great matchup, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to score well. I'd probably say Ferdy's the play. I would captain Zorgana probably. 80 lineup score, 80 lineup strength score is very, very high. So, um, yeah, that would probably be my play there. And then All Star Rare, it would go something like, yeah, Cassiering goals at home. Um, Probably Baradaki, right? Siri, yeah, Alvarez and Doku. Yeah, but Grealish like properly played well, didn't he? I'm not saying Alvarez won't play. I think Alvarez does play. So like swapping Alvarez for Guri, I wouldn't be too disheartened about. But the Guri matchup is really good, and the fact that he used to play for them means for me that like he probably takes precedent there. But the Doku one, I just don't know if he starts because I think Grealish did play really well, so he's put himself in a. I don't know. It's tough, isn't it? It's tough. Like we're all guessing the same sort of thing, aren't we? It's very hard to say. All Star Rare. I mean, you probably do have to go Batarina here. How's Carlo Holse scoring? I can't imagine very well. No, he hasn't been scoring very well. Yeah, so like in here, I'd probably go with a an Alvarez. You obviously can swap that around, if you want to um, do it a different way. But that's probably what I would do. And then you probably have to play Saliba somewhere, don't you? So this is probably the best place for him. Captain, probably Bardaki? No, I don't know. Let me have a look. Yeah, you'd probably want to captain a Bardaki, I would say. Depends. Depends if you think Man City absolutely batter Chelsea or not. But I would go something like that. It's not an unbelievable All-Star Rare lineup, but it's decent enough for sure. Um, and then Cap 240, obviously we're going to go with Big Gavin goals. We're going to go with Stelios could be a play here just because of who they're playing against. But then yeah, we'll probably go Stelios. We've got a low enough cap, haven't we, to mess around with. Um, Cavachi probably has to play somewhere, doesn't he? Hasn't been too great recently, actually. But what's his what is his chances of starting? Okay, they're not out. Yeah, I guess they're playing, aren't they? Um, yeah, I guess they're playing tonight. Dynamo Zagreb are losing, by the way, just to let you know. Um, yeah, if he plays, I'd probably go with him. And then up front, you're probably looking at maybe Asano. Yeah, I'd probably go Asano just because his cap's pretty low, and then you've got 49 to play with, and then you're probably looking at what? You're probably looking at nothing too crazy. Sam Lammers could be a play potentially. Scored very well last game week. Toulouse 1-0, no way. I bet you it's Delinga. Bet you it's Delinga. Let's have a look. It's not. Okay, sorry. I got ahead of myself there. It wasn't Delinga. 49 points left for It's either hmm, it's either Lammers. Yeah, I'd probably say Lammers. Donham got the goal. I'd probably go with something like that, and probably captain your Fenerbahce guy. That would probably be my lineups for you. Um, Soroth missed a penalty for Villarreal, by the way. Yeah, those would be my lineups for you, Siri. Like I said, one on the house, but next time if you do want these looked at, I'm afraid it has to be a members only situation, just because, yeah, like I said, the members, it's one of the perks of the membership. So yeah, I appreciate you being around though, because yeah, you've been a supporter for a long time, so I do really appreciate you, in that sense. And yeah, lads, that's probably going to end the stream there. Massively appreciate you hanging around. Obviously, you've got football to watch now. I've got my boy Caduce to watch this evening, and yeah, hopefully, you can get us that W. And yeah, hope you all have a good weekend. Catch you for the deadline stream tomorrow if you're around on Quinny's channel. Yeah, no worries at all, sir. Absolute pleasure, mate. And yeah, best of luck for this upcoming game week, lads.